Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you for joining me. This is for Thursday. It's May 16th, 2024. Quite a bit to go over again on the back of yesterday. So let's go right into the markets. At the moment, we've got our MMRI risk indicator pulling back just a bit further, even. We're at just above 281. So still in high risk area, however, it's showing a significant decline. So with that, we've got greed increasing in the markets by a notable amount. We're up at 62 at the moment, solidly into the green territory. So yesterday, the 10-year yield dropped a significant amount. We're now at 4.34, and the relative strength of the dollar, although it's recovering a bit at the moment, had dropped as well. That left a lot of room to have that money flow back into equities and stocks, risk on. So at the moment, we had a large day yesterday in the markets. They completely went green, but they are beginning to hit some resistance, especially in these futures. So we're getting, prior to the market open, some jobless numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Expect these to be revised later. But at the moment, we're watching also Bitcoin and Ethereum had quite a good day in cryptocurrencies. So those also rose. So all money flowing out of cash and into assets of a variety. So stock market, gold, silver, and increasing. So we basically got severe inflation playing out. Right now, we had the inflation data come out, and they're saying was accidentally released 30 minutes early. So what's really interesting is the other note on this is that the US released inflation data early and no one in the market noticed. So do you believe that that was an accident? Are they that inept? Put your answer in the comments there. Could go either way with that one. So we've got Treasury yields ending at the lowest levels in more than a month after this April CPI core inflation data came out. So right now we've got markets are green. Gold is about level right now. We've got oil that has some in the news. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we've got the futures also still pointing in the green, although I expect a leveling off for today. So going into our calendar, we're expecting, as I said, the jobless claims 8:30 and manufacturing survey and housing starts prior to market open. We're getting building permits, import prices, and production. So after this, we've got Fed speakers, and if anything comes out severe in this wash, then they can manage that with the way that they speak. So we had S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Dow all shattering their record highs in unstoppable bull market rally. So where does it go from here? Well, we've got earnings. We're looking at also from Walmart as well as Baidu and JD.com. Those are major Chinese tech companies, and also John Deere. So we'll be watching some of these earnings as well. So on oil, settling higher on a decline in the United States supplies, their Strategic Petroleum Reserve, SPR, is way down, which is basically a security risk for the country. It feeds the military-industrial complex, so expect that price to go up at least short term. So we've got two sides of this. The first is the military-industrial complex eating this up, and the second is that they're saying demand is down from the real economy going down. So kind of an interesting one there. We've got investors split on the Bank of Japan, thinking about cutting the bond buying again Friday. So basically, the yen is much weaker again. If this continues, they must step in and do something about it, either directly or indirectly. So that could rock markets a bit. So going over to the banks, we have Morgan Stanley is buying over $700 million in property loans tied to SVB. This was the bank that went down. So they're purchasing these mortgages pennies on the dollar, some commercial real estate, but not all of it. And then we've also had NYCB, which is the latest, dropping back on the mortgage warehouse. So we have JP Morgan Chase basically buying them up, pennies on the dollar. So these mega banks getting stronger and consolidating the smaller ones. And this will continue. There's a lot more smaller banks on the chopping block. And so that's the $1 million question, because of course, if you knew which ones they were, you could short them and retire early. So we've got Starwood's $10 billion property fund tapping the credit line as investors are pulling out their money. So they're another one, basically property fund. People are pulling out their money because they're concerned about basically property markets falling, both commercial and now residential as well. So with the residential markets getting hit, builders slashing home prices just to keep buyers interested. So we've got confidence in the housing market waning for the first time since November 2023. We're going to be watching those permit numbers this morning. But if this continues, we've got builders doing everything from offering incentives on down payments to prepaying purchasers' interest just to dump the inventory. So with the real economy consumers, they're feeling the pressure of inflation, and household delinquencies are continuing to rise. So this spreads across the spectrum. First, it's in housing. Beginning to stop paying their payments is the final step in this. Already having their cars repossessed, selling a lot of their things, they're defaulting on their credit card debt, which is the first marker, the unsecured debt. Then it goes to the automobiles, which they still need to get to work. Now they're going to buy now, pay later, and the new car market is suffering immeasurably. They're going to have to drop their prices. So with this, we've also got Home Depot posting 6 sales drop amid housing market woes. So Home Depot is a marker not of new homes, but of people maintaining their homes, or all of during the great cough that came out, doing all of the renovations. This is whole dropped because they cannot afford this anymore. So we're seeing a major split in basically the economic class of American citizens. And they're being called, these groups, all of these really cool acronyms are coming up with DINKs, DINKs, known for disposable income, but some child-free adults are also now struggling. So these are dual income, no kids, DINK. So they're beginning to show the cracks also. And they're saying that these are basically the ones people are kind of looking towards because they can take trips, they've got extra money, but now they're starting to feel the crush. In the middle and going to the lower end, you've got what they're calling ALICEs. These are asset limited, meaning they don't have much behind them, income constrained, so they're not making enough money, but they're still employed. So without dependents, many of these workers, they're making lower incomes, and they're having a hard time because they fall right in between, where they don't get credits, they don't get government assistance, they're still employed, but they can't make it. So where are they going to go? They're going to get shoved down into the poverty level. So moving over with past the companies and jobs is actually into what is going on internationally. We got 90% of Russia-China transactions are now being done in their national currencies. This has been a growing trend since the United States basically took the funds that they basically seized assets of foreign nationals, namely Russia. So with this, they have decided to switch mostly to direct Ruble Yuan trade, and are calling it timely, as it's led to a strong boost for both of them. So we've got also Iran and China now just signed basically a memorandum of understanding in an agricultural co-op. What does this do? basically they're expanding in the agricultural sector. And if you look at where the bulk of the food is grown, and a lot of it that is exported for two major areas, these two having a link is significant. So if we look at the other side, there's more going on with this, kind of basically in the war sector. But the Israeli minister is challenging Netanyahu over Gaza's post-war future. So kind of arguing over who should control Gaza. So the fact that they're saying this out loud talks of the garbage that came out from the very beginning, because it was never about who should control this area. It was supposed to be over what happened on the 6th. So now the truth finally comes out. There's also quite significant canal with designs over there as well. So moving over to cryptocurrencies and also the blockchain sector, would like to get into some major stories. We've got welcome to the UK. Please hand over your crypto. This story is talking about a change to the UK law. It allows authorities to seize assets without accusing suspects of wrongdoing. So my main reply to this is good luck with that. Because while they can try to seize keys, and they say they can also take passphrases, if you can memorize your 24-key password to this, there's nothing they can seize. And without your permission, they can't get into it. So we'll watch that going forward. We've got Blockchain ID Project Humanity Protocol hitting unicorn status with a $30 million raise. So just showing that they are putting identities on the blockchain as part of the tokenization project going forward. So we've got MasterCard launching next generation blockchain payments on a startup program. So they are putting both IDs and payments on together. This leads into the tokenization. So we've got, I'm leaving a link in the description. I urge you to watch this. This gentleman, Carlos Domingo, is a company called Securitized, is co-founder and CEO. And basically he's been speaking about how he's been tokenizing. At the moment, it's financial products, but it will expand since 2018. So with this, we've got MasterCard and Standard Chartered testing their tokenized deposit transactions. So this will move forward. So with this, I'd like to move into Sage, growing your own medicine, preparing for all of these things going on and moving outside of this system. Aside from holding silver, gold, real assets, stocking your food and your medicines, also self-defense, we've got Sage. It's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. It can help with cognitive disorders, also increases clarity. There's also a thing called smudging sage. So we've got immunity, bone strength, helps lower cholesterol and lower your blood pressure and risk of heart disease. This one is new to me, helping snake bites. I'll have to look more into that because I find that interesting. So before this gets on too long, I've got to get on to all this pre-market happenings, and I'd like to get this one out in time for you. So until I see you again, my friends, stay free.